Okay, let's continue opening up the hips. Let's go ahead and move into leg cradle. I'm going to have you go ahead and take your right leg, bring the left heel a little bit closer to your pubic bone, and you're going to have you cradle your right leg. So you can either cradle it fully by placing the right foot into the crook of the left elbow and interlacing your fingers as your right arm goes around the right knee. Right? So the right knee in the crook of the right elbow, right foot into the crook of the left elbow. All right. If this is too much for your hips, you can cradle the ankle with your hands. So find a place that you can have an erect spine. So if you're cradling the ankle, see how flat you can get your back. And if you have to be in a rounded back, that's fine too. Remember, we're trying to adjust for your specific body. So if the only way you can breathe fully and deeply is to round your back and cradle your ankle out here with straight arms, that's fine. If you can take it deeper by cradling in the crooks of your elbows, flatten your back as much as possible. So reach the crown up to the sky as much as possible. And just sit here for a moment and breathe and see if you can kind of waddle your way into a position where both sitting bones are pressing down into the floor. You've got your left ankle pulled in as close as you can get it. Erect spine, tuck the chin, long neck. Close the eyes, take deep breaths in and out as you continue to communicate with your right hip that it needs to let go. As you breathe deeply, whenever you're ready, you're going to begin very small circles with that leg and hip. Full breath in, elongate your spine, and start allowing a little bit of rocking here as you continue to wake up that right hip. And if it helps, you can release your grip of your hands, have your hands free now to make your circle a little bit larger. So if you're looking at your foot, you see it making a big circle here as you breathe deeply. You're trying to find any tight spots in that right hip where it's not necessarily a circle. If you feel like you're making kind of like a D with this hip, see if you can make the ball and socket. What you have in your hip is a ball and socket joint, and it's rotating around. You might notice some tight spots where it's not necessarily making a circle, but maybe making like a letter D or any other letter that's not circular. So the idea is to find places of slight discomfort in that right hip, tightness, and just try to iron it out. So back up, move forward through tight spots. You can now at this point grab your foot. Again, you're still lengthening your spine and you're drawing circles with the foot, the hip, the knee, whatever is going to help you articulate that ball and hip socket on the right side. And then you're going to reverse your circle. Deep breaths in and out as you breathe. Relax into sensations, maybe pause where there are moments of tightness, stiffness. Allow your body to open up. Breathe, relax, feel sensations in those spots. Allow. Maybe watch with the mind's eye what's happening in that right hip. And let's end it by pressing the heel out in front of you, pulling on the toes. And if you're out here with your ankle, maybe pulling on the shin or the thigh. See how straight you can get your leg as you pull your toes towards your face, press into the heel. Full breath in and relax that leg down. Close the eyes and feel. We're going to go straight into the left hip now. So let's switch the feet and then bring the left leg into its position. So either you're out of here, cradling with your hands. You're going to very slowly, let's first sit in this spot, right? Breathe into the sensations as you begin to get familiar or maybe visualize what you're going to be doing at this point. You're elongating your spine as much as possible. You're using your arm strength to start to create a nice opening in this SI joint where your sacrum and your ilium meet. And whenever you're ready, we're going to start some circular movements with the arms. Elongating again as you breathe deeply. Each time you inhale, try to reach the crown up towards the sky, tuck the chin. Big movements now, or let them get larger now. So find a position with your arms that allows you to make a little bit more exaggeration of this rounded movement. Back up, iron out any tight areas. If you want, work your hands to your feet and see yourself drawing a larger circle, trying to get the foot way up towards the shoulder, up towards the ear, then back all the way down. Left ear, right ear, all the way down. There you go. Deep breath in and out. I'm going to turn to the side. Trying to continue to have an erect spine. Make that circle. You could even focus on your knee if that helps you to open up the hip socket. Last deep movements as you open up the left hip. Stay present, stay as clear as you can in your mind as you let go of thoughts. Pause, draw the foot in or the ankle in towards you. One last deep stretch as you surrender your leg cradles this morning. Close the eyes, elongate your spine, allow your back a little freedom here as you round, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin, round your back. And we're going to move straight into frog from this position. So one more hip opener for this morning. It's one of my favorite hip openers. Most effective hip opener for me has always been the frog. In frog, you're going to first start in table position. And then you're going to slowly walk your knees out to the sides until you've found a place that you want to pause and breathe into it. Turn and look out over your shoulder and try and drop your ankle directly behind the knee on both sides. Full breath in and out. And if you can still breathe deeply in this position, you can drop to your elbows. If you can't, if you feel there's a little too much sensation in the hips, then go ahead and bring your knees a little closer together. Drop down to your elbows. So your feet or your legs are in 90-degree angles. Ankles 90 degrees to the shins 90 degrees to the thighs. And your legs are your thighs 90 degrees to your torso. Let's go ahead and relax your head and neck. So let your head drop towards the floor. And again, we're going to still stick with that mantra of breathing into sensation. So breathe as you feel where the stretch is in the ball and hip socket of the joint. Full breath in and out. And again, if you're feeling pain, then back out of whatever it is you're doing. But if it feels fine, then stick with it. Breathe into sensations. Relax the entire body. Relax your feet. Relax your hands. Relax your face muscles. Relax your head, your neck. Letting gravity do the work here. Breathe, relax. Feel what's happening in your body. Watch the mind as it creates its thoughts, and just allow with compassion anything that the mind, anywhere the mind wants to go. And as soon as you recognize you're having a thought, come back to your breath, and we're going to slowly begin some movement now that you've allowed the hips to get used to this position. Allow your spine to be neutral. You don't want to sway too much. You don't want to round too much. It's a neutral spine. And on the next inhalation, you're going to shift your hips forward. On the exhalation, you're going to take your hips back. I'm going to go ahead and turn to the side here so that you can get a different view of frog. On the inhale, you're reaching forward with your crown. On the exhale, you're reaching back. You're going to inhale forward and exhale back into the hips. As soon as you find that place of slight discomfort as you take your hips back, pause there and breathe into your hips. Try to visualize what's happening in your hips. I'm going to turn back to the side. Felt the mat underneath my knee. It's a little painful. So if you're having pain in your knees, put whatever you need to. It could be small pillows or whatever you have, just to allow yourself to sit in this posture and open up the hips. So what you have here in your hip socket is, again, this fallen joint, and you're trying to create an articulation of the ball and socket joint in your hip through this posture, right? So visualize that happening in your body as you continue to float your torso forward and back. In Muktasana, the frog, it's a great opener for the hips if you're struggling with, say, like squats, rocking squats, trying to get your tailbone down towards the floor, trying to get your feet further apart. This is one great way to open up your hips, because it's gravity that's doing the work here, as opposed to whenever you are in the squat, if it's difficult to get your feet flat on the ground with the flat back, you'll find that frog is very complementary to squat, allowing you to, again, open up the SI joints of the hips. So when you're ready to come out of frog, go ahead and press yourself back up to your hands and start to walk your knees in, walk your feet in, walk your knees in, and take a moment to move back into child posture. Bring your forehead down to the floor. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, let out a sigh, a moan, or a groan, and appreciate Uttasana of the frog. Also appreciating the leg cradles, leg circles. And feel as you rock in child, rocking side to side, feel the opening and appreciate the benefits of these hip warmers this morning. And let's go ahead and let's move into a salutation at this point.